Hello, this is SD3, a shallow dive into deep dives, number 2, for the first Indonesian person to come to Europe. I was wondering who the first Indonesian to come to Europe was, considering the long history of colonization by the Dutch, and I didn't find anything. They didn't give me a name, and the first time, and every time I looked it up, it was like, the Dutch were there for 300 years. And by the way, after World War II, they all started coming to the Netherlands, and that's a really big, it's a really big gap of time. But I started off, I looked it up, and I was able to find my first source, which was a page on Wikipedia for Perhimpunan Indonesia, Perhimpunan Indonesia. I don't, yeah, and it said that there were Indonesian students who made a student union in 1908. So that's Indonesian students in the Netherlands in 1908. Then I go and I check the history, colonization before 1600. Not like, by the way, I'm gonna say who the first Indonesians are in like the last like minute of the video, so you can just like skip to the end if you want. Um, I said it was before 1600, not likely because Portuguese trading didn't work. They did it like 1500 something. They met the same, like it was right after Christopher Columbus. They also found the Indonesians, and they just didn't work out. Then then the Dutch made the very first merchant ships in 1596, and it was the first profit they had with the Van Neck de Oud Compagnie in 1600. That's when the Dutch started making money. Uh, I found some more things about the like 1901, and I found about the Second Anglo-Dutch War, and then Dutch slavery in Europe. It was funny, all the slaves that the Dutch made, they all just sent them to other colonies. They never took them back to the Netherlands, really. And if they did, they weren't from Indonesia, they were from like Africa. Mm-hmm. I said I hate this project because it's a lot of work. It was a lot of. I had to read the Wikipedia pages in Indonesian, Dutch, and English in order to find more information. It's crazy. I made a timeline of history. It was just covers like the growth of Dutch colonization, which didn't really help. I said here, but I said before 1700 was not likely because there was little use. I thought it would be slaves would be the first one to come to Dutch, to the Netherlands. I found an earlier source 4 years prior. Sawatan Kasajangan Solipada is a guy who was he was just a guy who's smart, and they said that he was inspired by 1857, right there, Willem Iskander Nasution, which was a guy born in Indonesia, but he was like, I think he had two Dutch parents, so it's like he's Indonesian kinda, and then he went to the Netherlands, and that was the earliest by a good mile, yeah, and then he had a sad story. He killed himself and was buried in somewhere. Let me see. Do I have it written? Yeah, Zorgvlied Cemetery, or as they call it, Begraafplaats in the Netherlands. Then I forgot to say this. In order to search up who did this, I emailed the Indonesian embassy in the Netherlands and in The Hague, and I asked the Dutch embassy in Indonesia for help on who the first Indonesian to come to Europe was, and they both responded. Like it took one like a few days, took the other one like a week after that, but yeah, they led me to a book called Dinagari Penjaja by Harry A. Poeze, with contributors Kies van Dijk, Inge van der Molen, with the translator Koa Sarasog, Sobagyotor, translator Hazil Tanzil, Monique Sos. And the book is called, in Dutch, In het land van de overheerser, which means like in the land of the overseer, and Dinagari Penjaja means like in the colonizer country. And the book covers Indonesians in the Netherlands. It's literally just what I wanted. And I downloaded the Dutch PDF, and I'm like, well, I can't read Dutch. Time to translate it. So I had to really. I found Willem Iskander. So 1857 is still a very good date. I think it's actually what led me to that book, mostly. Um, yeah. I had to use Leiden University. It says a university in like the Netherlands somewhere. Google Books is terrible. I hate it how much they just hide in preview. It's like, why do you scan it and then not put it in public? Anyway, yeah, they told. Then I found Harry Poeze, the guy who wrote that book, In Hitland van de Overheerser, the Dutch guy, at like Kitlev. It's like some like Dutch thing about Asian history and research. I emailed him, and he told me, he was like, you'll find that it was three delegates from Aceh in 1602. So when I said earlier about it being before 1700, not happening, it did happen. 1602, three delegates of the Sultan of Aceh. Here are the names: Abdul Zamat, Sidi Muhammad, and Marasan. Or the modern names would be Abdul Hamid, Sidi Muhammad, Mir Hassan. That was it. They're all related to him. They're all related to the Sultan in some way. Some like the naval advisor, the merchant, and the nephew. Abdul Zamat died in the Netherlands, by the way. He died in St. Peter's Church, or Sint Pieterskerk. He died at 71 in 1602. And I just want to go there. And I want to see if I can find those two graves. Willem Iskander and Abdul Zamat. Be nice to him. Well, that was it. Those are the Indonesians who came to Europe. Let me ever say it right at the end again. So if you skip right to the end, you'd hear Abdul Zamat, Sidi Muhammad Medas San, 1602. Thank you. A shallow dive into deep dives.